Hello, Blockey Sports Network. Welcome back for another very exciting game day. Probably the game of the season here tonight as the Calgary Wings and the Boston Grizzlies battle for the President's Trophy. A big matchup here late in the season. I'm Frumpy Bear. I'm joined on the desk tonight with J4 and Wad, our first-time desker. Welcome to the desk, buddy. We got a pretty exciting matchup, and you know, there's a lot has happened over this course of the season. Wad, you want to talk a little bit about the big Ghosty Ferret trade that happened?
Honestly, I do like it. You know, obviously they're getting their old captain back. He hasn't had the greatest success this season, but I feel like this is the night to prove that this trade was really worth it, considering this is the biggest game of the year for them. And he's going to be a big difference in this game going against this absolutely stacked Calgary first line. And I feel like he gives a really good chance to show that this season wasn't a waste for him.
No, absolutely. I mean, with how much success he's had in the past, you have a feeling that, you know, and with the rumors saying that he's going to be lining with Youppi, you feel like this would be the night. You want to talk a little bit about that as well?
I don't know how I truly feel about that. You know, making a guy who's #1 in points in the season and a front runner for the MVP play defense for a guy who's been pretty lackluster this season. I'm not sure how I quite feel about that, but I suppose I won't talk too much on it until I see what happens after the game or during it, because you never know. Let's see how they do.
Yeah, and you know, J4, Calgary, they've been rolling for most of this season. They've had a couple bumps along the way, but I mean, they've been at #1 pretty much this entire season. What do they got to do tonight to keep it going and come out with a big win? Because a win here would clinch the trophy for them.
I think that the biggest thing they could do is just keep it the same, you know, not overdo it. Just been playing how they usually play, and I think they will get the victory because, you know, they do have a stronger set of defense and a stronger set of scoring. So if they could just take advantage of Youppi on defense, I think they could sneak a victory.
And Wad, real quickly here, we'll start with our predictions. I know I didn't get to ask you your thoughts on Boston, but we'll start with your prediction here quickly. Who do you think's going to win this game?
I think it's going to be 3-1 CGY if Youppi stays on defense the whole time. But if Youppi plays forward, I think we might see an overtime game here where it could be pretty 50-50.
Yeah, and J4?
I see it 3-1 Calgary.
And I love a little bit of chaos, so I'm going to go 2-0 Boston. Youppi always has a big moment for the clutch. So we're going to send it up to the desk, or up to the booth, excuse me, with Mason commentating. I'll be doing a little bit of color as we get ready for this really exciting matchup here in Boston.
Where are the opponents? Seems like all of Calgary got a little bit too distracted in their scrim. I don't know if we're doing walkouts, but we got another minute. I'll send it back up to the desk. Take it away from me, Bear.
Well, we got another desk. Oh, another minute. All right, let me get back up to the desk real quick. Sorry, I was already walking away, but you know, we'll talk a little bit more. So we'll get to Wad here. Wad, you were talking to me a little bit before the show about what you thought Boston needs to do, and I'd like to hear those thoughts right now.
I really need to see last season Ghosty Ferret. We saw that man drop 4 goals in a single playoff game, including the game winner. And I think we need to see that Ghosty Ferret tonight, or I think this trade wasn't worth it. I mean, they gave up 2 very good core depth pieces, not even depth, 2 superstars at that. I think they really need to show this guy.
All right, yeah, I 100% agree. So I believe now we are gonna start. So this time we will send it up to the booth with Mason as we get underway here in Boston.
And I'm going to have Frumpy Bear just right alongside me, and I'm very, very excited for this matchup.
Absolutely.
And it seems like we got the line stack that was rumored on the desk is going to be taking place here. Ferret and Youppi up against Stan and Wapex. Greatness takes a shot, and he scores in the first 2 seconds of the game!
And what a way to set the tone of this one. I mean, Greatness, I believe that's a Grushka. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it is
a Grushka.
with a name change, yeah. And what a way from Calgary to start off this game. They're going to attack the weaker link on this line being Bursk. And, you know, a Grushka, he's a good enough shooter to slot those home any day of the week. So So just a really smart and heads-up play from Stan V when you have Ghosty Ferret and Youppi staring you down.
Yeah, I could not agree more. And if the Wings are going to start off with this pace, I mean, this game could go either way. Here's Stan V again, quick off the face-off. Bursk trying to slam it away. But he doesn't get far. Youppi trying to turn it away. Past Stan V, can't do so. Youppi here. Making advances up the boards, trying to get past Grushka. Does so. Has Wapex to get through now. Wait, Stan V. Going up the boards. In the corner here. Ghosty Ferret. Trying to get past Stan V. Stan V going to take it right off of him. Stan V pulling it back. Good pass inside. And Grushka nearly there, but the stick just did not end up on that puck. Great pass by Stan V. Very, very close again from Calgary. Youppi going back the other way. Wapex across to Bursk. And Bursk Q is going to whiff one of the biggest shots of the season. Oh no. Lagging again. Alright, Ghosty Ferret. Good move, but he can't get a shot off his greatness. Or Grushka going to be taking that one off of him. Josh now on the ice up against Agrushka. Agrushka behind the net. Playing it all the way down to the star player of the second line, Gleniboo. It's been super solid in his own position this season.
We didn't get to talk about the second lines much, but for these second lines, they're both headlined by star defenders, and it's going to be a big game for Luke here, as he's going to have to really carry the load of this second line. Not something he's really been asked to do all too much this season.
Yeah, but, I mean, with the experience that man carries, I believe he can do it if he puts his mind to it. But
definitely in the midst of one of his most active seasons of the 3v3 era, being available for this Boston team has been big for them.
And something I just noticed, Quake TFA is not available for this game tonight, as Dredgen A will be taking his spot for him. And I know a lot of people like to laugh on his name, but Quake, top 10 goal scorer this season, played in his role fairly well. But anyways, here's Zulus playing it inside the Dredgen. Dredgen cannot get a shot off.
And I don't want to rag on Dredgen A there, but that's a shot that right now and currently this season, Quake TFA maybe would have gotten his stick on.
Zulus playing it across to Dredgen A. And Youppi is now back on the ice. I do like these Boston jerseys. Shout out Nick. I like this color of this cyan. Dredgen trying to get a pass through, but has to get through Youppi and Ghosty Ferret. Stan V in the corner. Good moves. Trying to get a shot off, but Youppi's going to pick that one away. And then shot from deep, it's Wapex!
And another puck that kind of just sputters its way out to the blue line, and Wapex just there, and he pokes it home and right past the stick of Zaz Pixel, who he knows Owen right now. He's 0 for 2 to start off this game, and you know, a couple defensive mistakes from Boston early, and Calgary taking advantage of him.
Yeah, I mean, I was just watching the replay back, and it just seems like the Boston defensemen were all kind of cluttered, and Ghosty Ferret kind of tapped it a little too far out towards the middle, I believe, I think that was him, and Wapex just slams that one home. Calgary starting this game off hot. Stan V, central ice now. Down in the corner again. Takes a pass inside, but Grushka cannot get a shot off. Wapex taking a shot, and Ghosty Ferret is lagging on the ice. Youppi. Stan V. Taking a shot, and that shot's going to go near. A little bit too far wide to the left. Good pass inside. Stan V shot saved by Zaz Pixel on the doorstep. Zaz Pixel having a big ask tonight. And all these shots that he's been facing, pretty hard saves. I mean, I'm not a goalie, but Fuppy Bear can maybe give me a little more insight on that.
No, absolutely. I mean, anytime you're facing uncontested shots, it's always a little bit difficult because you're kind of relying on yourself to come up with a big save in the big moment. And Zaz, he's had a lot of big moments this season. I mean, he's probably going to finish as a Vezina finalist. Don't know if he'll win the award, but he's had a very strong season. All-star this year for the Boston Grizzlies.
Yeah, for sure. TXQ pulling that one back. Wapex poking it right off of him. And TXQ playing it across, but there's no one home for this Boston second line. As Luke now makes his way on the ice. Putting it down. Zulus taking it right off of him. Zulus in the corner, up against Josh. 7 Josh plays a pass across, and Dredgen is there, but Luke is there quicker to clear it away. Zulus still on it here, putting on relentless pressure as 7 Josh comes away with it. Going back the other way, trying to play a pass across, but Zulus again causing all this pressure on the second line. Good crouch there from Dredgen. He can't get a shot off the Zulus in the back corner. Marching up the boards, has Gleniboo to get past, but he's going to take a shot from deep, and Brown finally going to get on the score sheet with his first registered save of the evening. And with 22 seconds left in the first period, it seems like this period's been all but Boston. I mean, Calgary so dominant. And here's Gleniboo making a nice pass over to Zulus, but Youppi's going to take it off of him. Zulus still on it, but that's a good pullback from Youppi. Still has the momentum forward. Dredgen's going to clear that one out, and that's going to do it, I believe, for the first period. TXQ takes a last hurrah, and that's going to be a save by Brown FN. Good save, Brown FN. But anyways, that's going to do it for me in the first. Let's send it back up to the desk. Take it away, Frumpy Bear.
Yeah, and exciting first period so far in this one, and Calgary coming out of the gates hot as they're hungry for that President's Trophy. I believe it would be their second President's Trophy in the past 3 seasons, so kind of a bit of a dynasty forming for the Wings. But I'll start off with J4. Boston, couple defensive mistakes, and from my point of view, I feel like it's going to be a hard adjustment for Ghosty Ferret to not be the primary puck toucher on his line.
I think from experience, I think that what they got to do is just watch Stanvy's playmaking. His playmaking is very, very good. And if they could just stop his playmaking and just watch the pass, they could just prevent goals from being scored, because if Stan can't do anything and his teammate can't do anything, they can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, and we saw in that opening face-off Stan do exactly that. He hit a beautiful pass over to Agrushka, who beat his assignment in Bursk and was able to slot that first goal home. And Wide, you talked about how you don't really know how that Boston first line is going to perform, and we're kind of seeing that right now. I mean, it's kind of hard for a player like Ghosty Ferret and a player like Youppi to play each other, 2 very puck dominant players in their own rights.
Yeah, I'm just genuinely very disappointed in that first line there. I mean, there's 2 more periods, a lot of hockey left. But I feel like I couldn't really tell who was playing defense for Boston. I feel like every time the puck was in Calgary's offensive zone, it was in Youppi's hands and not Ghosty Ferret's. So I feel like I was just really underwhelmed by what I expected to see, and hopefully they can figure something out and we can watch some good hockey for the rest of the night.
Yeah, and I mean, and on those second line matchups, we talked about, at least me and Mason talked about, if Luke was going to be up for the task of carrying that second line, and he's done a fantastic job so far. And it's going to be a lot on this first line to come up big here. But we'll send it back up to the booth with Mason as we get started here in the second period.
Thank you, Frumpy Bear. And here's Stanvey starting off hot in the second, trying to keep off that face-off momentum, and good shot opener, but Ghosty Ferret is able to recover fast enough to shut that one down. Agrushka here on the boards, gets past Bursk. Stanvey trying to pull it towards space, but Youppi's going to be there. Bursk was there. Sorry, not Youppi. Anyways, Bursk playing it up the boards, but Wapex has so much space just to dump it back into the offensive zone. Stanvey going to poke that one right off of him, and Stanvey has Youppi and Ghosty Ferret right on him. Need 2 to shut this man down as Ghosty Ferret on the boards gets past Stanvey, but Wapex is going to dump it right back down. Say, I have the lead. I don't need the puck. I'll just keep dumping it down into the offensive zone. Wapex will have no problem doing that as Stanvey opens up some space again, but Youppi gets a nice pullback to get it right off of Stanvey, and it seems like Ghosty Ferret and Youppi are playing on this 2-man dynamic against Wapex and Stan. I mean, and Youppi opens up the space, but Brown FN gloves it down! Good save by Brown FN!
And a huge moment here, and Wapex, one of the best defenders, if not the best defender in the BHL. He has the hard task of being up one-on-one against Youppi, and he gets beat, but Brown FN bails him out with a big glove save.
Brown FN looked absolutely incredible in scrims earlier, and he's showing it tonight. Gleniboo playing it across to Dredgen, but TXQ is going to be there first, and he's going to take a shot from deep, but that's going to be swatted away by Gleniboo just in time. Gleniboo. Dredgen dumping it down. Luke Dredgen still putting on the relentless pressure. Says, "This is my biggest game of my career. Does not mean anything. I will play out of my mind." Glenny up against Luke. Luke nearly getting the best of Glenny Boo there. He's going to put out to the corner. Luke trying to find a pass, but TXQ is there. Could not get the 5-hole off, but I believe Broadafen had that one covered. Glenny Boo dumping this one up to Zulus. Zulus playing it across to Dredgen A, but Luke has all the space in the world on the boards just to dump that one down. And Zulus trying to get a shot off first timed, but that's going to be a little too far ahead of him. Seven Josh going back the other way, but Glenny Boo dumping it right back to the offensive zone. First line has Wapex, second line has Wapex Jr. Two of the best defensemen in the league. Champions last year. Stan V up against Luke. Stan's going to shut that one down right off of Luke. And Stan is going to be running back the other way. Good pass from Stan, but Youppi's shutting that one down. Had that one read like a book. Ghosty Fair with a shot off a one-timer, but saved by Broadafen. Stan V up the boards. Needs to be a little more careful. But that's going to be back-checked by Ghosty Ferret, and Youppi's now in contention of the puck. Wapex shutting Ferret down. Bursk nearly getting a shot off there, but can't do anything with that. Wapex playing it down to Stan. Stan gets away from Youppi and Ferret. And Frumpy Bear, I've kind of liked seeing these two, top two players on each team, going back and forth with it. Very, very entertaining.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. And it's a style of defense that you'll see from Wapex a lot. When there's a player of the caliber of Youppi and he's going up against them, he is just going to stick on them like glue. He's going to force them to use their teammates and beat them other ways. And Youppi with a great pass over to Ghosty Ferret, that's the type of adjustments you see from, like great players like Youppi. He finds that pass and, a great glove save from Brown, who's not having the best season of his career after a really good season that saw him win the Calder just a season ago. But, he's been perfect on all three shots so far, so not much more Calgary can ask of him.
And look at this bunching from both these teams here. That was a bit of a cluster there from Bear in the neutral ice, but Boston comes out on top with it, and Youppi taking one of his longer shifts as we're used to him doing. Seven Josh on the puck here. Takes a bit of a heavy touch as Zula's going to take it right off of him. And with a minute left here, I mean, no goals in this period, but Calgary still looked really, really dominant besides that one great chance that were opened up by Ghosty Ferret and Youppi, sorry. Glenny Boo up against TXQ. Pokes that one right off of TXQ. Glenny Boo again, taking it right off of TXQ. Bloody Boo dumping that one down to Stan V. With 30 seconds left here, does Boston have anything? And then Luke putting in a good pass towards the slot, but there's no one home for Boston. And Stan V up against Ferret here. Stan V has the puck behind the net, and he's going for a Michigan, but that's going to be swatted away by Luke. Glenny Boo. Oh no, Luke takes the puck right off of Glenny Boo, and he's going to try post abusing, but Broadafen shuts it down again. Incredible save by Broadafen. Ghosty Ferret, anything left, and that's going to do it for this second period. And the score remains the exact same as the first. Calgary 2, Boston 0. Let's send it back up to the desk. Hosted by Frumpy Bear. Take it away.
I'm going to start off with a little bit of my own rant. I don't always get my opinions across, but here I'm pretty strong about it. It felt like Boston trading for Ghosty Ferret was kind of over-correcting something that wasn't broken. They were going along just fine with Konechny and JR Goof, and while maybe they weren't the best players that they could have had, I felt like getting Ghosty Ferret, who's in the midst of his worst career season by far, maybe when he was a rookie in 1923 when there weren't color TVs, he was bad, but his worst season in a very long time, and it really hasn't panned out for them because they don't know where to put him. I don't know where he should be, because when he was on the second line, he wasn't able to carry it, and right now on the first line, it feels like besides that one opportunity, he's gotten in the way of Youppi more than he's been an option for Youppi. Anyone want to add on to that, or?
I can. I did like what I saw that period a little bit more. I thought I saw more offensive pressure there. Youppi really just taking it into his own hands. Obviously, still not the period you want, putting up a 0 on the score sheet, but it definitely made Broud FN put a little bit of sweat into that period. And I feel like I just want to see that for the rest of the game, and maybe Boston can put up a few goals, and we can see a good game here.
I mean, I agree, but at what point, like, do you have to switch the lines? Because if Ghosty Fair's not really doing a whole lot on the ice, you're paying $13K for a winger at that point. And I don't know, it just feels like he'd be more valuable on that second line.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly think we never should have saw that trade. I feel like whenever you're the number 2 seed in the league, you don't really change anything.
Yeah, but we still got one more period of play here. J4 Calgary 5 minutes away from clinching another President's Trophy. You think they'll do it? Close it out?
Once again, like you said, I think Ferret's just getting in the way of Youppi. He's just out of place, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that might be our last desk of the night if this result doesn't change, but we'll send it back up to the booth with Mason.
Stan V starting off early yet again, starting off with some pressure. Bursk putting it the other way, and Wapex dumping it down to Stan V. Youppi's going to take control of this puck here. Youppi still on it, trying to get past the Grushka, and it seems like Youppi's going to be playing a bit of a more offensive role as he takes a shot. Broudethen with an incredible save. Youppi again, shot saved by Broudethen.
And Broudethen has always said he has it in the big moment. He loves when he gets a barrage of shots, and right there makes one of the biggest saves of the season. Right there to keep Boston scoreless.
That is King Broudethen if I've ever seen him. And he's back. And Ghosty Ferret going back the other way up against Wapex. Ghosty Ferret on it here. Ghosty Ferret still here. It's going to get poked away by Stan V. And that's... Oh, good move there by Stan V. Bit flashy, though. That's called the pizza slice. And TXQ gets past Stan V as the second lines now make their way to the ice. Luke. Glenny Boo here. Luke pokes that one right off of Glenny Boo, and he's going to try playing a pass inside. Good pass, but that's going to be a bit too far away from TXQ. Instead of Josh Tate gets a goal, and it's going to be offsides.
And just nothing going right for the Grizzlies in this one. Broudethen probably having his best game of the season, and right there, just so unlucky that goal is called offsides, but the Grizzlies just a little bit too deep in the zone there when that puck finally made its way out to 7 Josh.
And 7 Josh getting past Glenny Boo, shot saved by Broudethen. Luke on the rebound, and that's going to get poked away by Glenny Boo, and there's going to be another offsides on this Boston team.
And not that I want to keep talking about Broudethen and seem biased, but man, he's just looked on it tonight, and his positioning looks real good, something that he struggled with a little bit this season. And in this big game, I mean, Calgary has needed him to come up big, and he has done just that.
Mm-hmm. And here's Zulus up against Youppi. Good pass inside, but Dredgen's going to be too far forward to really hit that one. Glenny Boo is going to dump that one down. Dredgen still on it. Glenny Boo dumping it down to Dredgen again, and Luke's just going to dump that one back the other way. And Youppi up against Zulus on the boards here. Glenny Boo. Ghosty Ferret going down the boards. And Youppi and Ferret both on the puck here. And it seems like the second line is going to be taking their bit extra time to get that stamina recovered. And it seems like Boston's first line already going to be back on half stam before their first line even get back on. And here's Stan now back on the ice. Stan V dumping it down into the corner. Stan V in the corner. Goes across, and he takes a shot, saved on the line by Zaz Pixel. The wizardry from Stan V was not enough to get past Zaz Pixel just now. But here's Grushka trying to take a shot, but Ghosty Ferret perfectly positioned for that one. Stan V still on it. Wapex going to dump that one across. Bursk is here on the boards. Stan V. Bursk gets around them, shot, saved by Broudethen. The easiest save he's probably going to have to make tonight. And with 2 minutes left, Boston, what do you have left in you? 7 Josh. Dumping it down. Cutting inside. Broudethen comes out of his net, but there was no angle for Josh to really get a shot off. And Stan V struggling to get past 7 Josh here. Good move there by 7 Josh, but he could not get anything over to the center. Agrushka going to take it off of Stan here, dumping it right back down to him. Stan working with absolutely no space with two Boston defenders right in front of him. Luke marching it back the other way. Can we get some Luke magic? Good pass inside the TXQ. Luke on it still. Getting past Wayback's shot saved by Browdefen. Boston now lead in shots. But Browdefen is the final wall of defense for this Calgary team. Wapex getting past Luke, trying to take a shot, but he can't get it through. Luke behind the net. And with 1 minute left, does Boston have anything left in them? Wapex behind the net. Trying to make a pass inside, but he's going to miss the scoop. 7 Josh trying to dump it down, but he whiffs on it. Wapex still on it. Stan V and Agrushka up against Youppi here. And Youppi's going to 5-hole it, saved by Browdefen. Browdefen is primed up right now. Good pass inside from Youppi, but that's going to be saved again. Youppi takes a shot. It's off the post. Nothing's going right for this Boston team. The clock is bleeding out against them, and they can't get anything going. Stan V pulling it back. Making a mess of this Boston team with 20 seconds left. Boston, good pass inside from Ghosty Ferret. Can't get anything on it there. And with 15 seconds left, seems like this game has Calgary written all over it. Congratulations, Calgary Wings, on the Season 25 President's Cup trophy, as I nearly said that over a goal there, and that's going to do it. Calgary Wings win the President's Trophy of Season 25.
Yeah, and just a really good win here for Calgary. And, there were some doubts, recently if Calgary, after that loss to Houston, was really as legit as they were. And, coming back with a game like this, it's a big statement win for the Wings going into the playoffs, and a great way for them to end off their season, I believe. But what a performance from Browd. I mean, to get him going right before the playoffs started is so key for Calgary, because when he's on, he's a top 3 goalie in the league, and they're going to need him to show up if they want to win the cup this season.
Yeah, for sure. And this team came out super hot early on in the first period, and that's going to be enough to get past this Boston team. But I got to say, that was a well-fought win, and Boston did not go down without swinging, Frumpy. And
no, they definitely showed some fight. They showed a lot of fight in the later periods. And, had it been a different goalie than Browdefen, this might be a different, or probably would be a different result than what it was.
Yeah. But anyways, that's going to do it for us tonight. We have the final 2 games of BHL Season 25 tomorrow night, I believe, at 8:10 p.m. again. Starting off with the Battle of the South Division banner between the San Francisco Stingray and the Houston Bandits. Followed up by Boston going up against Minnesota for the final game of the season, regular season. And that's been it from me, Maspin, joined alongside by Frumpy Barrett, Wad, and Jaden. Thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back tomorrow night. Stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe too. And good night.